Hey buddies, welcome to AmassGames. My name is Simon. Today we're going to set up, play and review the game Ecosystem Coral Reef, designed by Matt Simpson and published by Genius Games. Now, you might have seen my other video, my teaser trailer unboxing video relating to this particular game. It is very similar to the game Sushi Go, also relating to fish. You're going to have various player aids, all the same on the back. So you're going to take one of these per person. So I'm going to leave one out to the side, I'm going to leave one out for somebody else, and I'll leave again a third player or a dummy player if you're playing as a two. For the solo play, I'll do that separately as a solo playthrough. As you can see, it's been played through a number of times. I'll come back onto that in a second. So you have various cards in here. Now these player aids do tell you how many are of each card as well, each type of card there is. Aim of the game is to get the most victory points, having played out all of your cards, which is a total of 20 over a total of 2 rounds. You'll be playing out 10 cards initially, so you're going to be taking these cards and then, like I said, shuffling them up and handing them out. So imagine we have just placed out some cards here. So we're going to take these, imagine they are like well shuffled, and grab 10 initially. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You'll take 10 cards and you're going to look at them and see what you wish to try and score. You'll be placing cards out. They must be adjacent or orthogonal to each other, which means one must go there, one must go next to it. You can't go diagonal. Look at these cards and let's talk about what they represent and do. So we've picked up this first card here. This happens to be an eel. You get 4 points for each adjacent fish, or in this case, what it's relating to is a prey icon. So if you can see a fish icon down here, that means that it's a prey icon. So 4 points for each adjacent fish if it's adjacent to coral. Now in this particular hand, we don't have any coral, but that is what an eel represents. Over here we've got plankton. You're trying to get the most plankton. So you've got the most into the game, and ties are friendly. You're getting 12 points, next person gets 8, next person gets 4. So if it's a 3-player game and 2 people have the same amount, so they'll get 12, the next person is going to be getting 4 points. Moving on to the next one, it's got lots of plankton. You might want to make a big plankton field. You have the octopus, which is a special type of animal. In this instance, you get 3 points, and when you play, you may move one of your other cards somewhere else or swap 2 cards around. We have got another prey icon here, the crab, 2 points for each adjacent plankton. So you might want to try and get some plankton on the same row. That's what it represents, the same row in this instance. Whereas in this case, we have a grouper, 3 points for each adjacent krill. So I've got a couple of groupers here, and there are some krill here in my hand. So in this case, if you can get 3 next to each other, that's worth 9 points. If you have more than that, it's still only worth a maximum of 9 points. So at that point, no more than 3, you're trying to keep them separate at that point. Otherwise, 2 together will get you 4 points, and 1 on its own is going to get you a single point. And then we have the whale. So funnily enough, they do like eating krill, as I can tell you by your knowledge. And in this instance, they are going to score you 2 points for each krill in your ecosystem. But at the end of the game, you do need to be having this humpback whale jump up, breach, and you're going to have to flip an adjacent card to where it is. So that is something where it is. Okay, so those are these cards. So you're going to go through this and initially pick one of these cards. So I don't know, maybe I want some krill out. So place that here. Then this card is going to go off to my opponent to my left. You're going to have 10 cards to be picking from. And again, looking through these, we have some other cards. So suddenly I have some coral. So in this case, it has to be in the bottom row. If you can get in your bottom row, you're going to be scoring some points as well. So coral is a producer. So corals, krill, and plankton producers representing by this. And it's 3 points if it's in your bottom row. So you're encouraging yourself to be down here. So this card, if this is out now, it's got to go here, 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 or here. So that's the bottom. We have a turtle, so 2 points each adjacent, well, each row and column that they're in, containing at least 1 turtle. So you don't want more than 1 in the same column or row, that's inefficient. But again, you can be scoring 4 points for having this here, here, whatever it might be. Let's see what else is in our random hand here. So everything else we've actually seen with some clownfish though as well. 2 points for each adjacent plankton or coral. So right now that could be quite good, but equally that is not plankton or coral. So based on what I've got, do I have any other krill? I've got some more krill. Well, obviously that is now worth the equivalent of 2 points each, 4 points in total. Knowing, of course, I will be getting some of these cards back again. So again, in a 2 or higher player counts, you're going to pass your cards to the left, and then you're going to be taking your cards from over here, if it's your 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th player over here. But please be aware, this game is a 2 to 6 player game, and so you can kind of play it solo. It doesn't say on the rule book, but basically you're playing against somebody else, and you're building their ecosystem, and you're trying to get what your points are minus theirs. So it's about 20 minutes to play. So you're going to have a hand of cards here. If you're playing as a 2 though, what's going to happen is you are going to pick what this dummy hand is. But first you're going to randomise and remove 1 card. So you have 9 cards left, and then you're going to take the stack. So you're always going to be 1 away from knowing what your opponent on your opposite side has. In round 2, you're going the other way. So again, you're going counterclockwise if you're maybe in the North American area. Otherwise, you say anti-clockwise over here. And that means obviously you're passing other directions. Each player gets a chance to obviously try and mess over their opponents that you're drafting these cards for. So what I think of the game, like I said, you will have a total stack built out initially. So you're going to have all these cards out. So I might not want obviously my fish down there initially, but I've got a shark over here. So what they want to do is they're trying to eat, obviously, prey. So what they're trying to do is get points that way, getting 2 points for each prey in the same row or column. So that would be better for me because that's going to get me to have 2 points. If I get any more, that's an additional 2 points from then on. That is pretty much everything else covered. So we've talked about all the different creatures out here. Please be aware that when people see coral, they might see eel and think that it's coral, but it is eel there. As I mentioned before, I found it's not cartoony. It's not too obviously realistic in the sense that it's a photograph, but it's a very detailed, very accurate looking image for all these various creatures. Like I said, you're going to play over 2 rounds in total, and the game is very accurate in play time, about 15 to 20 minutes. Highly enjoyable, very quick, very quickly grab out. Very nice display. I've got lots of pictures, for example, on Instagram that you can see pictures of. So please head over there via the description, of course, in YouTube, and let me know in your comments in YouTube is best so everyone else can discuss as well. Excellent player aid. And lastly, when we do go through scoring, please note that when you do score, you're trying to have the most balanced food web possible, which means an equal amount of points for producers, for prey, and for predators. So score up your producers, you score up your prey, you score up your predators, get those totals, and whichever you have the lowest of, that's your food web. That's basically your sustainability. You then score yourself your points for the turtles, and again 3 points for your octopus, however many you have there, and then you have your final score. So the scoring has been very close. I remember the first few games, it was 8 points in it, then only 4. And then most recently, I managed to improve on my prior scores. In fact, everyone else has done since as well. And like I said, yeah, there's a bit more to it, each individual game. Obviously a randomization of what cards you have, maximizing what you can work with your cards to. And again, highly enjoyable. Any other thoughts, please, of course, let me know. This, of course, is going to go in the How to Setup, Play and Review playlist. There'll also be perhaps another playlist for Genius Games because I do have those periodic videos on here too, amongst others, and more videos coming as well from them. Aside from that, there's also the chance to win competitions. They are occasionally on there and they are time sensitive via Linktree. Also, you can go through and join the discussion over on Facebook. If any other questions, of course, please do hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell to, of course, check out all the other stuff coming soon. But yeah, everything fits very neatly back in the box. Very nice thick cardstock. My rating is at least a 7 out of 10 for this. I think it is highly enjoyable. And again, there's a bit of learning going on too. Everything is making sense in terms of eels do want to be around coral, etc. So yeah, very enjoyable. I love the whale element too. That has been Ecosystem Coral Reef, a follow-up by Matt Simpson's original game Ecosystem, which I've not played. And for now, back to the table.